Okay.
I think we're okay without translation, so that's good. Thanks, Danny. Anyway. Okay.
Scottish is a form of Spanish.
Okay, a couple each if we can, please, as quick as we can. Mark, would you like to kick off? There you go.
Brendan, first and foremost, it looked like everyone had pretty much a clean bill of health today, but how is your squad ahead of tomorrow night?
Yeah, healthy and well, and yeah, we got a strong squad available. Obviously, we've got one or two players that are still on the way back, but other than that, yeah, we're all good to go.
We look at Celtic in the Champions League last season and this season. It seems as a club, as a team, competing better, asking questions of the opposition, having really good spells in games, but the results aren't coming. How do you keep the players positive in progressing the way you're trying to play? How do you keep that mindset and stop them being dispirited?
Well, no, listen, you're always disappointed when you lose games, any game, and in particular at this level. But when players are giving their best, that's all you can ask. I think it's I think that the Lazio game here it's just a real indication of the level that you're at in the Champions League. You know, we played very well in the game, performed well, and but yet you just one moment at the end of the game it costs you the points. So that's just a reminder of the level, but it doesn't stop you. You know, being persistent and looking to fight, and that's what we expect here. You know, the fans expect us to fight, to run, in order to play quality football, and that's the style of this team and how we want to play, and we will continue to do that.
Do you get a sense that the group, that the team have evolved at this level from your first spell? Do you get a sense they're more comfortable, getting more comfortable with the Champions League level by the performances, if not the results?
You're never comfortable. It's an elite level. It's a competitive field that we're playing in. But I certainly think that from what I was here the last time, the players equally gave their all. We're just playing against teams that, with the greatest respect, that were better than us. And but this time, I think over the course of the two performances, first one we. Sadly, we're down to 9 men, but even then we showed our spirit and fight in that game, and in the first half showed our quality. In the second game, like I said, I thought we deserved to win the game, but we ended up losing it. So, but like I say, the players will come in very motivated. We know tomorrow the stadium will be on fire. Tomorrow night it'll be an amazing atmosphere for us to be involved in, and I can't wait for it.
Can you use the kind of pain that the frustration you had at the end of that Lazio game 3 weeks later, as a kind of positive to kind of drive you on tomorrow?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's life, isn't it? You know, adversity is some of the best learning that you have, and that the pain of that, it was numbing at the end, because we didn't feel we deserved that, and the supporters were great for us in the evening. They would have seen everything that we were trying to do in the game. But as I said, I'm not here to, and I don't want to be taking condolences after losing games of football. But I respect the level that we're at, and it's up to us to try and see if we can be more progressive in our results in order to push forward.
When you look at that performance, and the two domestic performances since then, it seems to be kind of more fluid. What's been the key to kind of that evolution of the way you're trying to play, do you think?
It's just development. It's just patience and time. I think there's been numbers of changes within the squad. I think you've also got players getting back to a level of fitness as well. You know, if you looked at the team where it was at the beginning and the team now, it's a different team, and it's at a different level of fitness as well. So that, and just the constant work and the players wanting to develop and improve, sees we're playing with a greater speed and greater intensity in our game.
Brendan, I wonder if, in terms of performance, you seem to be building it, as you just discussed there. Do you think some of the small margins that you require maybe are things like luck, the uncontrollables to an extent?
Yeah, that is one factor. I think if you look over the course of numbers of years, if you're not winning, then it's a little bit more than that. But certainly we do everything we possibly can to create our own luck. There's many factors, but like I said, we can be pleased with the performance level, and I think that's always the start point for me. You know, if you can perform well, then that is always going to give you a greater chance to win games. And I think that if we can get in and perform well tomorrow, we know the task. It's a fantastic team that we're playing against, one of the best in the world. But as I've said before, we don't have to be the best team in the world to win. You know, we just need to educate our pressure, play well. You have to ride your luck a little bit as well. But hopefully, everything all combined with the supporters, we can have a great night, and certainly we'll be given everything to get the result we want.
Do you feel, you're describing them as one of the best teams in the world, do you feel you need a lot of things to go your way to get something, or that you're capable of matching them given all the factors you described there, like the fans, the stadium, everything else?
Yeah, listen, we know at this level you have to bring your A game to be a chance of getting the result, you know. So, and we can't just give what we normally do in normal games. You know, this is a team that's too experienced for that, and a manager that's too experienced for that, and the level that they're at. You know, you get world-class players, used to winning the biggest prizes, so they know the level, and they're really comfortable at the level. So for us, we have to do more to get the result, but we're ready for that. We're in a good place as a team and as a squad, and we know we're going to continually improve, and hopefully a game like tomorrow night is going to be another catalyst for our improvement.
There's a lot of history around this fixture that I'm sure you're aware of. It seems to have been added to slightly with Madrid wearing a strip that replicates the one they did in '74. Do you have any thoughts of that? Because you talked about the stadium being on fire. I think that might add a little fire, perhaps.
Well, it will for you, probably, or clearly you're looking for something. For me, it doesn't. Obviously, the game was 1974. I was, 1. I'm aware of the game, and obviously know that football has changed since that time as well. So no, my focus is just purely on this game.
We were just speaking to Greg there, Brendan, about the fact that players don't want to look back on this campaign with any regrets or feel that they've left anything out there on the pitch. Is that sort of a sentiment that you agree with? That you want your players to whenever this campaign does end, that you want to look back on one and think, yeah, you've did everything and you've came away with what you deserve?
Yeah, well, listen, I think the players have done that in the first 2 games, and I know tomorrow night will be the same. They give absolutely everything and do the very best. If you come up short because you're lacking that little bit of quality, then you have to accept that. But for us, it's not our way of thinking. We just go into each game. We haven't quite got what we deserve in the first 2, so let's go into this game and let's give our all. And we know we have quality and a work rate and an intensity that can pose problems for any team.
Looking at the makeup of the group at the moment and where everyone sits, it's maybe not a win or bust game in terms of getting Europe after Christmas, but with the second home game, is this a chance maybe to throw a bit more caution to the wind if you have to in that sense in this match? Yeah,
listen, we play every game to win, but like I said, your pressure always has to be educated. We want to be intense, but we have to press the game with an intelligence as well, because they've got top level players. But we will always go into every game to win, and whatever stage of the game is at, that's always our idea. So like I said, I think it's important for us, if we're going to progress them at any point in any of the competitions, we have to take something from tomorrow. Otherwise, it's a hugely difficult challenge for us. So, but we're excited about that challenge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can take that challenge on.
You mentioned Lazio and that game being proof of just the level you come up against in Champions League matches. Is this game another step up in level from that game?
Well, no, I think it's a level that's, you know, if you look at the front 2 players, you know, and Griezmann and Morata, they're outstanding talents, 2 different players, but both winners and know what it takes at the very highest level. And then you get other players in behind that are experienced. So this is a team that knows their way around Europe and European football because of the quality and the experience that they have. So yeah, we know it's a big challenge. That they're a team that's fighting for the Spanish title. So, but for us, we just have to go and play our game and look to be brave and play with that courage that we've been playing with, and let's see if we can pose them some problems.
And those are the types of challenges, the types of opposition that you'd expect the players will want to go out and relish and really prove themselves against some of the best players in the world.
Yeah, I think that's why you play as a player. You want these games. That's why the players worked so hard last season to get to this level. And when you're here, you want to be able to go and be competitive.
Brendan, do you feel that the gap in quality between Celtic and the elite league clubs in the Champions League has widened since your last spell at Celtic, or has the quality been brought in to bring the club a bit closer to that level in the competition?
Yeah, listen, I definitely think there's quality here within our squad. You can't deny that the quality at the Champions League level is a high level. I think for us, we're constantly looking to bridge that gap. So it's a huge challenge in terms of resources and everything else. It's you only need to look at the Europa League and see the teams that's in the Europa League. But I don't want to make them excuses. It's something that we just have to accept. We don't have the financial resources that these clubs have, and we have to accept that. So we have to find a different way of challenging the teams at that elite level, because we certainly can't do it economically. As much as this is an amazing club and the size and stature of Celtic worldwide, financially we're nowhere near the levels of these clubs. So how can we find a way? And we do that through our football and bringing in hungry players, and hopefully as we continue through the competitions, and that will build confidence for the players to express their qualities.
Tynecastle on Sunday was a fantastic result, fantastic performance for a difficult venue. Is that Celtic at its peak, or is it just a glimpse of what's to come domestically?
Yeah, no, I think there's still more room for us to improve. I think that what was really good, and what we're starting to see now, is the energy and the intensity in the game. Now the players are starting to gain more clarity in how we're playing and working. So listen, we all know as Celtic people that Tynecastle notoriously is a very tough place to go. So to go and make the result that we did, and for a lot of the performance, it was very good. But we still have areas that we can improve on. So I just think the performance will constantly get better, and that's what we're always judging. Pleasure.
Brendan, as you mentioned already, in terms of performance level and tactically, we've had really good spells in both games. What do you feel is missing in terms of converting that into points? Is there one thing that stands out in particular, or do you think it's a range of factors?
It's a range of factors. I think one of the biggest things at this level is concentration. You drop your guard for a second and you can get punished. I think that we've shown in the game, especially the Lazio game, that we can create opportunities. They'll maybe not be as regular as what they would be in a domestic game, but we can create opportunities. And you've seen our goal against Lazio was a fantastic goal. So, but yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one thing. I always say concentration at this level is huge, and also finishing your opportunities when you get them. So, but I think for us, it's about having that collective mentality. For us, there has to be a green and white block moving up and down the pitch, everyone together, and pressing the game and passing how we want to. And if we can do that, I think, and keep that concentration, we have a great chance against any team, especially here at home.
Yeah. How big do you feel the mental side of the game is at this level? And as a manager and coaching staff, how do you develop belief and resilience in the team that they can compete at this level?
It's just constant reinforcement in what you do well. I think that's always been important. Mentally, I always say these are games where you have to have belief. If you don't believe that you should be here, then this level is a huge challenge. So, but I've seen in the players enough in the couple of games that we've had that they've shown that have the intent and they want to impose their self in the game, which is great. That's what we want to be able to do, and yeah, it's just that constant managing of their performance and encouragement, because I've never seen anyone get better by being beaten with a stick. You always have to improve. You have to develop people and players, and I think hopefully over time you'll see that.
Brendan, tomorrow night, obviously you've said that we're playing against a world-class opposition. Usually we play our games with the majority of the ball. You know, we've always got possession. Do you expect tomorrow to be a little bit different? And if so, is there little tweaks in place that's, you know, going to change the style of play we're going to have, you know, to get the best result possible?
Yeah, I think that it's funny actually. I get asked these questions a lot. I think everyone wants us to have the ball when we play domestic and then not have the ball whenever we play in Europe. It doesn't really work like that. I actually think we'll have a lot of the ball tomorrow in terms of how Atletico play. They'll press us in certain sectors of the game, but Diego always sets his teams up. They play in a lower block in the main, so which means it's very, very difficult to break through. So I think we'll still have a good amount of possession tomorrow, but we've obviously tried to devise a plan that can help us at the beginning of the game and obviously throughout the game in order to give them things to think about. But we can also have to play how the fans expect us to play, which is fighting, running, and then with that there, we play with quality, and that's what the fans expect, and that's what I always think the style of Celtic is about, playing with that intensity and that drive. But of course, you always have to be in balance. You have to be in balance when you're defending, and we know we have to have a big concentration when we defend against that quality.
And just on the weekend there, obviously after the game, with the little support that we had there, you know, they were cheering your name, and it seems as though it's the first that's happened since your return to the club. Just how good does that feel?
But listen, for me, it's about the team. You know, as long as the supporters give the team everything, that's what's most important. But listen, it's always nice. You know, I haven't done anything yet since I've been back here, so I need to prove again myself to the club and to the support base. So, but I think what is important is that whether you win, lose, or draw, that your club and team and supporters have that unity, and if you can do that, then that'll give you a great chance to succeed. So there was only 500 odd supporters there, but they give us a great backing, and that's what I always expect of Celtic supporters. They love the team, they love the club. They'll travel anywhere in the world to see their club, and yeah. Hopefully we can keep winning and playing well, and they get more joy from watching the team. And as I said, for me, it's great when you get the support, and but as long as the team gets the support, that's what's most important.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.